What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Kevin Hoop Show. We've got a little bit of a prediction type of video. We're going to be looking into the future. We've done it a few times. I predicted Conor McGregor coming back. I predicted John Jones coming back. There's some predictions we're pretty on point with here, and hopefully we're on point with this one. Who knows what could happen? I've predicted a lot with Khamzat Chimaev. Honestly, I think the biggest reason it's kind of hard to see when or who Khamzat Chimaev is going to fight next is just because he wants to fight everybody.
Gotta go for everybody.
The dude literally talks all the shit to anybody he wants to and doesn't give a fuck. He literally has called out Alex Pereira, Jamal Hill, Paulo Costa, Robert Whittaker. The list goes on, and to be honest, I don't even think we know what weight division he's going to be fighting at, because I just named 3 different weight classes and he's called out people in each and every single one. When Alex Pereira was the champ at 185, he was all hands down ready to go to 185 and fight for the belt, but we all saw how that worked out with Israel Adesanya coming in and taking the belt back for himself, so obviously that shit's never gonna happen. There was a whole thing that he was doing with Colby Covington and trying to make that fight happen, and who even knows if he's gonna be still fighting at 170 when he does come back. I say when he does come back for a big reason, because he said that he was gonna be fighting in June or July after Ramadan. You know, we should have been able to see him in June or July. That's what he said back in like January, and now it's April and he's saying he's not going to fight until October. And I believe there is a tweet with him going back and forth with Paulo Costa of him saying that he won't fight until October. Now, whether he fights in October or not, I think the bigger question is, who is he going to fight next and at what weight class? Because I don't think he's going to make the 170-pound weight cut anymore. The dude walks around like Alex Pereira, looking like a fucking heavyweight, but cutting down 30 fucking pounds to get there. I don't think that he's going to be making that weight cut to 170 anymore, and I really feel like we have a higher probability of seeing him at 185 compared to 170. Now, this is a stretch. Maybe we see him at 205, but I really think that might be a little too much weight. That might be what he walks around at. He might walk around at, 200, 210, and fighting at 205, you're probably going to be facing guys bigger than you or guys just as big or stronger than you at 205 if he's walking around at that weight. Now, do I suggest you cut down to 185 just to make it? Not really, but that's what the fight game is right now. So I think we're going to be seeing Khamzat Chimaev at 185. So that begs the question, who the fuck is he going to face at 185? He's ranked 3 in the welterweight division at 170. So honestly, I don't think him getting like a top 15 guy is necessarily the fairest fight. Like, the dude shouldn't have to make a unranked run if he's ranked 3 in the welterweight. And what I mean by that is if Khamzat Chimaev was just coming into the UFC, if he just signed his UFC contract at 185 pounds, he shouldn't have to face an unranked guy, and then once he beats the unranked guy, he shouldn't have to face someone that's ranked 13 or 14 or 15, and then after that, he finally gets someone in the top 10, top 5, top 3. I think what would be the most fair is probably give him, a top 5 guy, whether it's Dricus du Plessis, maybe even Sean Strickland, who I think is ranked 6 or 7 right now, maybe Paulo Costa, who's ranked number 5. So honestly, I think a lot of it is there. It's more or less, when is it going to happen? Now, there's been a lot of back and forth between Paulo Costa and Khamzat Chimaev on Twitter. Now, I just think Paulo Costa's honestly a pretty funny guy, for the fact that he's not from the U.S., he is constantly tweeting out a whole bunch of memes and whatnot. I myself have to love it. Like, honestly, it's just making entertainment outside of the fight, outside of the sport. It's building up the bad blood, quote unquote, between the two. And it's not like they have bad blood, but I do think a little bit of trash talk from here and there, from one side and the other side, is always going to be somewhat entertaining. And he's all about talking about himself as fat man. He's drinking the special juice. He's constantly talking shit and really just kind of rolling with the punches. I'm all about that. And Khamzat Chimaev, I really feel like, is the complete polar opposite. Khamzat Chimaev might call out a lot of people and somewhat talk trash while doing it, but he's one of the most serious motherfuckers I've seen in the UFC. He's fucking talking about how this is fucking Chechnya, motherfuckers. I'm gonna kill everybody. I smash you, I smash you, I smash you. Literally just talking about putting violence on just about everybody in the UFC at this point. And I think that, you know, the last fight that he had against Kevin Holland wasn't necessarily the biggest challenge for him, but the fight against Gilbert Burns, 110% was. He definitely got his first bit of adversity in the UFC against Gilbert Burns, and I think that that goes to show either it's going to be harder for him at 185 or it might be easier because of that weight cut that he was doing to get down to 170. So I think another big question is, you know, who is he going to fight? When is he going to fight? How good is he going to look when he does come back? Obviously, he's had somewhat of a big, 6 to 8 month break by the time he actually comes back. But, you know, how will he look if he fights at 185? Because we haven't seen him at 185. Will he look better? Will he look more like a human? Because these guys actually have some power at 185 compared to 170. And will he have that gas tank? Because obviously he's been known to be so dominant, and we haven't really seen him go a full 3 rounds, a full 5 rounds. I believe his first fight that was a full 3 rounds was against Gilbert Burns, but honestly, I do think that another 3-round fight at 185 could be a lot different than a fight at 175 going all 3 rounds. Now, if this Paulo Costa fight does happen, I'm not saying that Khamzat Chimaev is going to run through him. I think, if anything, we're going to get a closer fight like the Gilbert Burns fight where he sees some more adversity. I do think, though, that the possibility is there that Paulo Costa maybe gets beat pretty easily by Khamzat Chimaev if he's looking really good. I think that that possibility is 110% there. Obviously, we've seen Paulo Costa go up against guys like Israel Adesanya, guys like Ryan Hall. His last fight was against Luke Rockhold, and he looked pretty good against Luke Rockhold. He made him fucking retire, basically. I do think that Paulo Costa has been getting better since that Israel Adesanya fight, but one thing that doesn't make me feel like he's, you know, constantly training, constantly in the gym, constantly working on how to get better, is the Marvin Vettori fight, which was the fight he had right before Luke Rockhold. Now, the reason I say that is because Marvin Vettori and Paulo Costa have both fought against Israel Adesanya, and Marvin Vettori lost and Paulo Costa lost. Now, their most recent fight, which went a full 5 rounds and did go to a decision, went to Marvin Vettori. And that fight was back in 2021, the same year that Israel Adesanya fought Marvin Vettori. Whether Paulo Costa has made big improvements since then, it's been almost 2 years since these two guys have fought. I do think that Marvin Vettori at the time was the better fighter. So the big question is, with Paulo Costa versus Khamzat Chimaev, how much has Paulo Costa really improved since that Marvin Vettori fight? Obviously fighting Luke Rockhold, who's a little bit older, and again, that fight was also won by decision. I'm not saying that he didn't win the fight, you know, fairly, but I'm saying that, you know, a lot of his fights have gone to a decision before. So whether we see Paulo Costa come out against Khamzat Chimaev with a big improvement or not, either way, I think that this fight is one of the more likely fights that could happen at this weight division. I don't think there's anything set in stone right now. They're just going back and forth on Twitter. But now the last thing I want to talk about is, even if Paulo Costa goes and actually does fight Jan Blachowicz, which is what he's actually talking about doing right now, I don't necessarily think that that's, you know, gonna say that he's not gonna come back to 185. I think right now that he's around that 205 weight division and is willing to go and fight Jan Blachowicz, who has gone and fought and won against Israel Adesanya. Maybe he thinks that's somewhere where he needs to improve. Maybe a fight against Jan Blachowicz will get him some more experience for a guy like Khamzat Chimaev. Either way, if Paulo Costa does fight in May, I think they were talking about May 6th. I believe that's when they were talking about Paulo Costa and Jan Blachowicz fighting. Even if that fight does happen, he's still saying that he'll be ready by October to fight Khamzat Chimaev. So whether that happens or not, we shall see, but that's my little prediction for the future for these two guys. And I'm always down to see Khamzat Chimaev. He's probably one of the most exciting guys watching from this Dagestan region. Not saying Islam Makhachev isn't, but Islam Makhachev is the champ right now, and he's always respectful and whatnot. Khamzat Chimaev is here to fucking trash talk everybody and to call out everybody in a very serious fashion. So I'm hoping to see Khamzat Chimaev sometime this year in 2023. We shall see, but it's all up in the UFC hands. So with that, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button. If you guys are new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. With that, guys, have a great fucking day.